Coming up on CTV News tonight, HeliPro helicopter tours of the CBD continue and the Crusaders receive a Heroes Welcome Home. Welcome to CTV News, I'm Rob Cope-Williams. The Crusaders were met by a huge welcoming committee of fans after returning from the Super 15 final in Brisbane. Although the team lost to the Reds 18-13, the fact they made the finals enough to make them iconic heroes.
The Crusaders were welcomed home by hundreds of fans dressed in red and black at Christchurch Airport yesterday afternoon. Damage to AMI Stadium has meant a lot of travelling for the team and no home games. The team has played in Nelson, Timaru and London instead of Christchurch. But the team wasn't using any of this as an excuse for the loss to the Reds in Brisbane. Even though they suffered a disappointing loss, the team still received a warm welcome home.
These guys have done us proud all season. They've taken us all the way to the bitter end. We've been right there with you all the way.
I'd just like to first of all say thank you so much, everyone turning up here today. I know it's been a tough old time around this place for the last few months, but the support we've had from you guys and from all of the city, all of the region has been outstanding. It's been tough being on the road, but we realise that every time we get on the field, we realise that we've got you guys behind us, and I guess the goal we always had is to make sure we went out and played like Crusaders to hopefully cheer some people up, and hopefully we've done that. We're bitterly disappointed we didn't win last night because we would have been way better to have had the trophy here, but I can tell you that the guys gave it absolutely everything they've got, and it's good to be disappointed because it means a lot, but I know that I'm proud of what this team's done this year.
And they were also given a welcome home haka. 12 Crusaders were named yesterday in the Tri-Nations All Black squad. Backs from the Crusaders include Israel Dagg, Zach Guilford, Sonny Bill Williams, Dan Carter and Andy Ellis. And forwards include Captain Richie McCaw, Kieran Reid, Brad Thorne, Sam Whitelock, Owen and Ben Franks and Corey Flynn. Loosehead prop Wyatt Crockett was also named as one of the 4 injury replacement players who will also train with the squad.
Calls of a lack of due process with respect to the Christchurch City Council are being made as more and more unanswered questions come out into the public arena.
I think the earthquake took away people's memories a bit, but the Christchurch City Council wasn't operating at full bore before the election. We had real problems with downtown Christchurch. We had the debacle over the Arts Centre and the Environment Court hearings, which the council lost and should never have taken in the first place. And then we had the Dave Henderson debacle. You had city councils travelling overseas to find out how to build sandcastles. And the council was a mess from an administrative point of view. Now, when you look at what's happened since, we've got this debacle over the Marriott reappointment. We've got the City Council building that's hardly been open since $180 million was spent on putting it in, the most modern building we've got, and it still won't be open properly until Christmas, which is about a year and a bit after the first earthquake. So we've got to ask some really hard questions, and when you do, the council's always in secret session. You can hardly, find out what's going on. And all of this is not good for due process. Public bodies are accountable, whether it be governments or local authorities, and they've got to be transparent. After all, they are representing the people. It's not a private company, and I'm just really quite concerned about the way in which the council operates and always have been.
But who do you ask? Because the Mayor, the Deputy Mayor and the Chief Executive are all overseas.
There you go. Bad process. In government, if the Prime Minister leaves the country, she leaves someone in charge, officially in charge, the acting Prime Minister. That's it. And that's how you run government. You should run the council in the same way. If you can't find out who's in charge, and they have to sort of have a ring around to see who's going to be speaking, it's a bit of a joke, really. And we're in a serious situation here. We've got, the biggest natural disaster that's hit any city in New Zealand in the history of the country. And this is not a time for this cavalier stuff of she'll be right, mate. And when you go away, you don't cancel all meetings. I couldn't believe it when I heard that the Mayor had actually cancelled all meetings of the City Council for 4 weeks while he's away.
Does this go back to the time when Leslie McTurk was the CEO?
Well, during the last 6 or 7 years, we have lost 28 out of 29, it could be 29 by now, out of 29, of the senior managers of the previous council. You cannot afford to lose institutional knowledge and experience like that. So we're having a bad run on the council, and the due process problem and the transparency problem comes, in my view, from a lack of knowledge of how you run public bodies and what processes you need to follow and how transparent you need to be. And it could only have happened on the watch of people who don't have enough knowledge and experience to do it, and that being exploited by those who think they can gain from it.
A company wanting to give views of the red zone for paying passengers have been defending their operation, saying it's a good cause despite attracting criticism.
HeliPro is offering helicopter tours of the inner city red zone for a reduced price, but this has attracted some criticism. The company is offering 15-minute flights over the central business district.
Okay, the flight's 15 minutes and lifts off from the airport. We track straight out to the CBD and then orbit the CBD in two directions each way looking mainly into areas such as the cathedral, the press building and surrounding prominent buildings in town.
Mr Graham says he believes it's important for people to see the city.
Most people are silent once they get to the city. They're quite excited about going on a helicopter flight, and then once they get to the CBD they pretty much stop talking and just can't believe what they're seeing, really. And most people are shocked but pleased that they've been out and had a look at the city one last time.
And he says they've had varied reactions from passengers.
People will find it beneficial going and looking at the city from the air, but yeah, each to their own, really.
People can tour the red zone by air for $145 a person, with $25 from each passenger being donated to 24-year-old Kate Barron, who was trapped in the PGC building for 12 hours and had to have both legs amputated.
Yeah, well, when we looked at doing the flights, we wanted to give something back to the community, so we picked a charity, a girl by the name of Kate Barron, and she's still in hospital now, and she had both her legs amputated, so she's going to be in there for quite a while.
Mr Graham says the company has been blown away by the amount of interest in the flights and the amount of money they've raised for Kate. He says they're not trying to earn extra money as they're charging less for these flights, but just trying to raise money for Kate. However, the trips have been met with some criticism, with people taking to social networking sites Facebook and Twitter complaining about the noise, and some others saying hearing the choppers reminded them of the day of the quake.
Well, I guess what I'd say is we understand the concerns and we are trying as much as we can to mitigate the effects from the helicopters on them. We are increasing the altitudes that we fly and varying our route as much as possible so that we don't fly over one place too often. Of course, over the CBD that's a little bit hard because we're flying over the same place each time. So what we are doing is increasing our altitude as much as we can to keep that noise down, the noise level down.
Coming up after the break, a red zone family gets a new apartment. Welcome back. A Christchurch family living in the red zone has won renting rights to an island apartment on a Trade Me reserve of $1 auction. Hanan Hussain, a senior teacher at the University of Canterbury's Early Childhood Learning Centre, won a modern 5-bedroom apartment at the Island Apartments, auctioned through Trade Me with a $1 reserve. The family's house is in the red zone in Dunnington. Ms Hussain says that the warm 5-bedroom apartment is very central for work and for her son's school. She, her husband, David Coulson, and 14-year-old son Dean move into the apartment this week. Darryl Hall, General Manager for Business Development at University of Canterbury Accommodation Student Village, says it's a great sense of satisfaction when they heard the auction winners were a red zone family. Over 13,000 people viewed the auction. The apartment comes fully furnished and includes power and open plan living. A disappointing weekend sports-wise. The Crusaders lost to the Reds and the Silver Ferns lost to Australia. So Pete Smith hit the streets today in Street Talk to find out how we feel about our Australian counterparts beating us in sports.
Let me make it clear right at the start. I love Australia as a country. I like Australian people. But when it comes to Trans-Tasman sport, Don't they just get right up your nose? What a weekend. Rugby Saturday, we get dicked, and then 14 minutes of extra time in the netball, and they've got the cheek to beat us by 1. Street talk today is, am I the only one that Australians get up your nose at sport? We're going to a neutral for a start. You're American, my boy.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Well, do you know much about Australians?
No, not a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been there a few times. I've enjoyed it.
Do you like them?
Yes.
Yeah, so do I, but at sport, they really get right up my nose. They keep beating
they're
us.
passionate. They're passionate about their sports.
Yeah, but they've got no right to beat us.
Well, it's all in the game, man. I mean, you know, if you're in the game, you're taking your chances on winning or losing.
So you didn't really get uptight at the weekend?
Well, no. I mean, I don't live here. I'm not, you know. I mean, I like to see Canterbury win, but I don't live down here, so I'm not as passionate as Kiwis are living there.
So you had one of the better weekends than most of us.
I guess that's probably true because of what happened, yes.
Because I thought the Australian netballers played much better.
Oh, yeah, but you don't want them to win.
I didn't mind at all, really.
What about the rugby?
I actually think the Crusaders played very badly.
Oh,
And I think Richie McCaw looks too fat.
he don't look big, doesn't he?
He's out of condition and he was lethargic.
Oh, so all in all, you're good on the Aussies.
No, I think the Crusaders were, I think they were at the end of the year, they played so well the week before.
Yeah. But it's the Aussies 2-2.
Yeah, and it doesn't worry me. In Christchurch, we've got bigger things to think about.
Well, not really.
And, this doesn't worry me.
Doesn't it worry you? No. Oh, worries me. Hey, look,
Well, that's just too bad.
but we lost 2 from 2.
Oh, for God's sake, we've got more important things than that.
I really annoyed because my husband came and went to the pub with the friends and came back really looking.
And then Sunday night we had to put up with a netball.
Yeah, I'm a New Zealander, but not the real one.
Yeah,
Just married with one.
But does it annoy you that Australia winning 2 out of 2?
Yeah, and the difference was very little. I'm
Was?
very upset. I mean, Canterburyans would do it better, I think.
Rugby, netball.
I don't care about either.
Why not?
I'm just not interested.
What do you do for your life?
I'm more academic.
Well, you can be academic and watch the rugby.
Oh, but I'm not interested in rugby.
What about the netball then?
I'm not interested in netball either.
So what did you do? Play PlayStation all weekend?
No, I study and go to university.
What are you studying?
Electrical engineering.
I handled it okay. I felt the Crusaders did well. I mean, we should feel proud of what they've achieved. And
Yes. But you'd want to win the big one, wouldn't you?
the netball.
Yeah, well, what happened there?
Well, I think that's just one of those things, isn't it? I mean, there's been a close run history over many years, and that's life.
Yeah, but they're Australians.
No, Australians are lovely people.
They are, but not at sport.
Well, they play to win, and that's okay. We can learn a little from them.
You're still confident of the World Cup?
I don't know how confident I am about that.
I need some... We've come to the source of divine intervention. The weekend. What is it with these Australians?
What is it?
Yes.
Well, the balance of players, Australian bank of players compared to the New Zealand bank of players.
But we're better at rugby than they are, Bill.
Don't speak too soon.
Oh, hell. Yeah, so we lost that one. Then the blooming netball.
Yes, that's what I was referring to, the bank.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we were up. We should have won it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
So-
1 point difference.
So can we rely on
Luck
you?
of the draw.
Can you put a word in for us for the Rugby World Cup?
Well, we'll just keep on hoping with the rest of New Zealand, eh?
The Australians did us in sport.
Yeah, it was a shame, but
What do you mean a shame? It was 2 out of 2.
are we talking about the netball too?
Both.
See, I didn't watch the netball this weekend.
But they beat us.
I know, but that's just how it goes.
Well, it's not how it should go.
Oh, well, we can't win all the time.
We're the best at both.
Well, we are most of the time,
Yeah.
but now and again we drop the ball.
Do you like Australians?
They're okay, I suppose.
Yeah, but not on the sports field.
No, God, no.
No, we
not
didn't
at all.
need that, did we?
We didn't, but, hopefully that's just given us a good wake-up call for the World Cup. And
Oh, you're still confident?
I am. I think it's going to be hard, and I'm picking a New Zealand-Australian final.
Yeah, and which way would that go?
It'll go New Zealand.
Why are Australia beating us at sport? Hey, 2 in a row in a weekend.
Wasn't our best weekend?
It wasn't, was it? But it's got to be the Australians, doesn't it? Why?
I'm sorry, I don't have the answer for you.
Why do they keep beating us?
Because they're better.
And if those losses weren't bad enough, a CTV and mainland press tug-of-war team narrowly missed out on victory at the Sefton School annual match.
The Sefton Tug of War is an annual event with all proceeds going to the Sefton School PTA. Amateur teams of 10 were able to enter, with a grand prize of $1,000 for the winning team. The event started at 10 a.m. and was going to be on rain or shine, which left things a bit muddy for competitors. Prize giving was by Alex Grizz Wiley, former Canterbury and All Black captain. The CTV mainland press team won 2 games and got defaulted on the 3rd game, then lost on the 4th game to the Green Party. CTV staff said they had a lot of fun and will definitely compete again next year.
Police in Papua Nui are seeking witnesses to an incident involving a male and female at about midnight on July the 8th last Friday. The incident happened on Langdons Road in Papua Nui near Briscoe's in the West Coast Bar and Grill. Anyone with information relating to the incident is asked to contact Detective Richard Quested on 374 1700, 374 1700, in hopes of fading for a missing possum trapper. The search for a missing male in Ashley Gorge was called off for the night last night, and 45 staff were deployed in the search area yesterday as nothing new was found. Helicopters could not be used due to weather conditions. Today, fresh search teams were brought in from the West Coast and Blenheim areas, but again the weather in the area is not good. Coming up after the break, your local weather. Back. It's an earlier than usual season for daffodil growers in Canterbury, with the flowers already arriving in supermarkets and stores.
Certainly been the earliest season I remember having on this farm growing daffodils.
That's the autumn, the lack of frost and no cold?
And plenty of water I think's helped as well.
So how long is your season, because you've got flowers now?
We started about the 20th of May picking, and we'll pick right through the end of October. So it's quite a few months of flower production, yes.
There must be a trick. Is it varieties or management that brings them on early?
Weather, variety and a wee bit of management. So certainly I think the rain's probably the best help, and lack of frost.
Rain wouldn't be good once you do get flowers though, would it?
It will ruin flowers, but as long as we pick them in bud it's fine. And we don't get a hailstorm.
Yeah, hailstorms wouldn't help. They're moulded almost like a potato?
Yes, we've got a new planter that moulds all the rows now, so if it does get wet, they're not actually sitting in water, which helps.
And what about feeding and fertiliser and such?
We just use rotation in with the stock, so every 2 years we dig everything and replant it in a new paddock. So just in the normal rotation does the job there.
And do you sell excess stock as far as bulbs are concerned?
Yes. Through March, April, May we sell bulbs, and this year we put them on Trade Me, which went very well.
Now, before the weather forecast, Anthony Goff says there are big changes going on in the CBD. Canetta spoke to him on City Life.
In the last week, a week ago, everything changed in the city. Sarah has suddenly engaged with the business people and said, we want you to help us pull the city back to life. And so suddenly they're engaging with people. I've got my pass.
Yeah, you were saying last time I was talking to you that you were certain you were going to get that pass. So it's really good to see that you've got it. Was it hard work to get that pass?
No, suddenly, as I say, as of Tuesday last week, they said, you've applied for 15 passes for all your staff and tradesmen. Come and collect them. They're here waiting. So we go out and get photographed and Deps printed, and that is wonderful. So it's allowed us all to engage in getting into it, because unless we get in with our business people and sort things out, the city won't come back to life. Now, the message I'd say to our viewers is those businesses that have been knocked back like me time and time again, go back. You'll get in, and they'll let you get into your businesses so long as it's not a terribly dangerous building.
Okay, what do you think was the turnaround there to change this? I
think it's Roger Sutton's influence, undoubtedly. He's a commercial person. He said if we don't engage with the business community, we're never going to get out of this. And that's absolutely wonderful.
All right, so you've been in with your pass.
Yes.
What have you been seeing?
Right. In the last week, there's been a huge number of buildings. I'd say there's probably 20 buildings currently being demolished at the moment. Cashel Street, we're taking 3 down. We've got 2 excavators working on them. I've got some photographs I'll show you. On Manchester Street, there was a section where there are 8 excavators working. unbelievable amount. And there's some areas that are wastelands. We'll show you some of these photos.
Okay.
Very, very interesting. But it's a hive of activity. Absolutely unbelievable amount of activity.
Any changes to your buildings or, I guess, the restart 2009-10-11 after June 13's quake?
No, don't seem to be. We seem to have survived quite well along there, which probably is a reflection that the Oxford Terrace bars and restaurants, which are mine, have actually stood up very, very well. Yes, they've got some serious cracks. Yes, we've got to do some enormous amount of earthquake proofing, but we're still quite confident that we will be able to get those up and running by the end of October.
Yeah, so restart 2009-10-11 is still on track?
Yes, we're still going flat out. It's taking a deep breath, I have to say, but we're now able to get in and start doing things, and that's what a difference.
That's CTV News. I'm Rob Copeland.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.